The governor said to my friends in the GOP, a long-term fix for the roads means new, fair sources of revenue. We can't cut our way to better roads by slashing public safety, health, and schools. Let's get a translation for that from Lance Binoniemi, the head of the Michigan Infrastructure and Transportation Association, otherwise known as MITA or MITA. He's on our AT&T line, our radio stage. Which way do you pronounce the acronym, MITA or MITA?
We pronounce it MITA.
MITA it is. And might the governor have been on the right road yesterday or no?
I think we're getting there, yeah, and thanks for having me on, Michael Patrick. We were encouraged by the governor's words last night, and we've been encouraged over the previous several months with different proposals coming from different areas. We've got a Republican proposal coming out of Speaker Hall's office and a Democratic proposal out of the governor's office, and we're very hopeful that they can come together and find a common ground solution.
What do you think the governor means when she said the cost of repairing the roads can't be put on the backs of the middle class?
Well, I think if I'm reading the right, traditionally we fund our roads and bridges through user fees, a gas tax or registration fees, and it seems as though the way the political climate is today, those are not options on the table, and no one's proposing those right now. So I think that's what she means, and they're looking for non-traditional revenue sources to fund our roads and bridges.
When Speaker Matt Hall wants to shift existing revenue toward roads and seems to indicate we have enough money to pay for it, is that too simplistic?
I'm not certain it is. It's going to take the experts to come up with, see how sustainable those revenue sources are currently. And again, we believe that there is some common ground here. The governor and the speaker have agreed to, in our minds, $1.5 billion more moving forward, in that both of their proposals include making sure that every tax that you pay at the pump goes to our roads, which right now would increase road funding by $1 billion. And they've, in both of their proposals, suggest at least $500 million of existing revenues in the state. And so, we think that they can come together and figure this out. We've talked about this for far too long.
Well, 20 years I've been hosting the show, and we've been talking about it that entire length of time. Here and in Washington, one time we went and broadcast when you did your lobbying day there. How did you like hearing the governor say that Michigan Avenue, of all roads, between MSU and the Capitol is like, quote, the surface of the moon, end quote?
Well, we've done a pretty good job, and we as the state of Michigan has done a pretty good job of investing in our roads and bridges over the past few years. But those investments have primarily gone towards our highways, federal and state. Our local roads have been beat up during that time period. And as we've gone through construction, and everyone in Lansing knows there's been a ton of construction around, you get diverted to those local roads, beating them up even further.
How much or how little has the damn roads been fixed, which was the governor's promise over 6 years ago?
We've done a good job. The governor's bonding proposal infused $3.5 billion over a 5-year period, and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act out of Congress infused about $400 or $500 million every year for 5 years. Unfortunately, those revenues end in 2026. So we face a huge road funding cliff that we're hopeful we can find a solution before we hit that cliff.
What is one message that MITA wants every legislator, every business person, every taxpayer, every voter to know?
Good roads drive our economy. We're impacted by good infrastructure in every aspect of our lives. And so an investment now means investing in our future, saving money in our future. And so we're really trying to get a sense of urgency to our lawmakers as we hit this revenue cliff. In addition to what infrastructure can mean to our entire state, we're also talking about a potential job loss if we do nothing.
Okay, carrot and stick there. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Lance Binoniemi, MITA, the Michigan Infrastructure and Transportation Association, the morning after the governor's State of the State address. Much, much more to come, including some of the people who would like to be your next governor, on radio stations across the state of Michigan and worldwide at mibigshow.com. It's Michael Patrick Shiels at the wheel and buckled up this morning. When it comes to supporting your health, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and Blue Care Network are ready to help. They've